Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Zagger-tastic stream. It is I, your friend, the one, the only Z, a single Zaggard, and I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, night, evening, whatever time it is for you today. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den, my friends, and it is another wonderful, beautiful, magical Mondays here in the Dragon's Den. I am so glad to see each and every one of you, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on today's mission of creating the town known as Wildfang. Let's turn up the music a little. There we go. Let me know if the music's a bit too loud for you guys or too quiet. If at any point it is, I am willing to change it. Let's see. Yo, it's waffle time. I'm more of a pancake guy, but it's a person's preference on what they enjoy. I like them both equally. Whenever somebody's like, pancakes or waffles, I always say pancakes. And then people are like, but waffles are better because they hold the syrup in. And that's a logical point. But I don't really like syrup that much. It just makes whatever I'm eating, it just makes it soggy. I'm not a fan. It makes it too sticky. I just like butter on mine. Maybe whipped cream if I'm being crazy. And they both do the job well. They just do it in different ways. I like waffles to be crispy and pancakes to be fluffy. So they're really very different in my head. Even though they're the exact same thing, how they're made is very different, and it makes it very different. Anyways, today we are going to be working some more on our D&D world. As we are, I keep saying D&D world. I'm just going to say fantasy world from now on. Our fantasy world of Bellaria. And you guys remember it. Here, we'll go to the screen so that way you can see it. I like my pancakes with butter on it. That is delicious. And what's that? Something's wrong with Bellaria. What's going on there? Yes, that is correct. We have something kind of unique happening here. Let me just open this a little bit so that way I can show you the full. As you can see, we have the image of Bellaria. We have a Notion tab. Huh, what's that? Why is there a Notion tab? Hello. Hello, everyone. I don't know why that doesn't autocorrect for me, but whatever. We have a Wonder Draft. Hi. And then as you notice, this one copies whatever it is. This is Affinity Photo. And Affinity Photo, it has a bitmap on it that makes it so that way it has a weird filter, so OBS cannot capture Affinity Photo normally. So we're gonna use we're gonna use that to cover it, so that way we're not getting double images. I'm gonna say peanut butter. Peanut butter is pretty good on. I've had peanut butter on. I can't remember if it was a waffle or a pancake, but I liked it okay. I'm not a huge peanut butter guy, but peanut butter is good. I was just fixing a couple things there. So.
Someone.
Well, Costello, thank you for following. What deserves a drinky drink of water. Just remember, if at any point you guys want to join us for some good old world building, join the chat down below. I see all of those messages, whether you're on Twitch, on YouTube, or on your phone. I see you. So guys, let's so as you know, we got to work on the information for the town of Wildfang. Did I even put Wildfang? No, I don't think I did put Wildfang. I heard someone rolling by and I was like, what is that? What be there? So let's add a Wildfang marker. Where is it? It is markers, right? No, it's icons. Oh, bergs. That's right. Poop, pop, poop. Yeah, let me make a... Let's do the full screen. Where did I put that? There we go. Let's put the Berg of Wildfang. How do I move a Berg? You know, I don't want it right in the desert, so let's actually delete this. Let's herm. You know, we'll say it's here. Makes sense. It's in the Ergrolgan Wilds. And... yeah, we'll say they're a hunting place. Do they have a market? Of course they have a market. Would they have a citadel? I don't know if they'd be a... But it is a... it's going to go under Wildlands. Other. They're kind of... They're not a nation. They're just a town. They're not really affiliated with any group, per se. Not yet. Not yet. What's my favorite dragon? The ones that are alive. That's a question that's like impossible to answer. Because what do you mean by dragon? Do you mean like giant flying lizard? Do you mean like Arthurian dragons? Do you mean Dungeons and Dragons dragons? Do you mean Asian dragons? Do you mean Greek dragons? Do you mean Chinese or Japanese? Do you mean like it's dragon is such, there's so many different things that count as dragons. There's even like a Native American. No. Was it Native American? Was it Indian? No. It was a Southern American tribe of people who believed in this like weird hybrid chimera sort of creature, and when they transcribed it from Spanish, I believe it was Spanish to Portuguese, they were like, we'll just call it a dragon, even though its description is nothing like what you would think of dragon. So what do you mean? It's so the dragon is such a bizarre term. Anyways, boop bop. So we got Wildfang. How do we want to change the population? Let's make the population maybe like 500. And yeah, it's let's say it's a small town. That's not a bad way to look at it. Would they have farmland though? I mean, they might. It's mostly a bounty town. I'm just curious how this changes stuff. I'm just kind of messing around with. I kind of like the way this town looks. Maybe we'll copy and steal this. Or I'll make my own. Greek or Norse? I don't know who my favorite dragon in mythology is. There's too many of them. Like, again, there's so many. I kind of like the Nidhogg. The Nidhogg's kind of cool. I like the dragon that was born created from a carp. From a carp, a koi fish that went up the river to the top of the mountain. I like those. Those two are pretty cool. Quetzalcoatl is also pretty cool. The feathered serpent of Aztec mythology. So those three would be my answers. But on a more importante note, where is it? There we go. Guys, let's build out the world of Wildfang. Let's think of some what are some jobs we can think of in a place? It's a town that is all about collecting bounties. Because it sits, as you saw earlier, it sits in the middle of 3 towns, or 3 kind of neighboring nations, and is in the Urgralgan Wilds. Remember, those are our version of orcs. I like calling them Urgles because I like the Urgles in the Aragon series, and I kind of want to base them off of that. Not the D&D orcs who are just like, we orc. So obviously there's going to have to be the contract hall, because there's going to have to be a place for people to get to turn in their contracts, be accepted for contracts, get rewards. And then in the contract hall, jail, please. It's a good idea. Put a jail. In the contract hall, we'll say there's a guild leader. We already know his name. He was in my one shot. For those of you who don't know, I'm kind of stealing this town from The Hunted in DC20's free one-shot campaign. So if you want a free one-shot campaign, go to The Hunted. Go look up DC20 The Hunted. It's a really good campaign. I've run it 1.5 times. It's pretty great. I'm itching to finish the second time. The reason the second time is because it's people who live across in Britain I'm playing with, and one of them got sick in the holidays, so we've been waiting until they're feeling better. Mercenary branch. I don't think you need a mercenary branch. It's already a contract hall. Like every bounty hunter is already a mercenary. Let me. Huh. Didn't know you could do that. Bounty Town. A place for nations to hire post bounties for dangerous animals. And criminals. We'll just say dangerous animals and criminals. That gets the point across. So yeah, everybody's basically a mercenary. Here's the contract hall where people go to train, turn in contracts, build parties, and approve I'll put approve and get rewards. Records. I'm actually Danebred, guys. Guild leader Eugene. And then let's see, who else would work here? I guess the... What's the word? What would be a word for a guy who gives out the bounties? The payment. Would that be like a payment officer? I'll just say payment officer. And I'll just put name here. Let's see, payment officer. Who else would we need? Maintenance guy. I can't type. Oh, I did. Leads the guild hall. First point of contact when being assigned a bounty. Not forced, first. Approves approves contract workers for bounties. There could be a store that sells items that criminals. Oh, that's a pretty good idea. I'll put that in. What would you call that? I'll call it a pawn shop for now, but it's not a pawn shop. Shop that resells captured criminals' wares. Things like their armors, weapons, and other items that were not specified to be retrieved in the contract. So is this a town where the surrounding nations control together? Or is this a neutral zone where none of them... It's a neutral zone. Here, we'll go back to the map. Where is it? So if you remember correct, so if you see here, this is Mitherheim, which is the nation of the dwarves. The Deshret, the Crimson Wastes, which is our huge desert, which has a bunch of... for now, it has one nation in it, you know, but which is going to be mostly humans live here. And then there's the Emerald Expanse, which is where the... what do you call it? The elves live, forest elves. And then right next to it is like Ogoria, which is another large human nation, which bleeds in a little bit to the Emerald Expanse. And then there's here the Urgrolgan Wilds, which remember, Urgals are is my version of dwarves. So this area here is like all neutral territory. You see this border? All of this is neutral territory, grasslands. Because there's the Urgals just they cannot be eradicated. The elves don't want to eradicate them for starters, and the dwarves don't, unless the Urgals start invading their territory. They don't care enough to get rid of them. They hate the Urgals. The dwarves hate Urgals because that's just how dwarves are. They don't really like anyone besides themselves and maybe humans, because they like humans and dwarves are actually very similar in a lot of ways in my world. And if you see here, the Urgrorgan Wilds go all the way to here, this little sliver. So they're actually in a neutral territory, surrounded by 3 major nations, and then there's Urgals obviously here. But because of their close proximity to these 3, they're not too worried about an Urgal attack. It does happen from time to time, but because they're also mostly mercenaries or warriors of some kind, it doesn't really cause a problem. So let's just Yes. All right, BRB chat. I gotta say goodbye to Claire as she goes to water. I'm back. I'm sorry I was gone. I had to say goodbye to the pelican. So if that answers your question, building for containing, processing, and transferring caught criminals. Don't need to explain what it's for, but we all know. I'll just say that's correct. Should there be enforcement team to stop any people from opposing factions from causing problems? Nah. I don't see the need. Because it's its own, it's more of a shanty town. Like, it's not, it doesn't have a government of any kind. Like, the government is the contract hall government. This is really just a town where people who, like, they want to make a fresh start, and they're mostly adventurers live. There are obviously going to be some non-adventurers, like maybe a potion, an alchemy shop that sells potions, a general store that sells and trades and wares. I don't think there should be a courtroom. Again, there's no legal... This isn't part of any country. It's just a town. Think of it like... I guess think of it like a Wild West town where you know, you could you would have the lowest law you would have is the sheriff, and then you just had the people who lived there. There was like there wasn't usually a courtroom or anything. Hello, Lily. So I don't think there would be a courtroom. The way I picture this place is it's not like there's some law. It's they are an intermediary for the surrounding nations. Like, oh, there's an owl bear that's been causing problems in our fields. Go and hunt it down, see what's happening, right? And then you kill it, skin it, or bring its head back to the and they'll prove it and be like, oh, yep, here's your $500. You killed the right owl bear. Like it has like a scratch on its right eye, and you have the one with the scratch on the right eye, or like if there's a criminal who like stole from the elves, it's like, we need you to track him down. We think he went into the desert. So your job is to go in the desert, track him down, bring him to the elves. I realized you got live. I was playing Minecraft and spelunking for axolotls. Axolotls, poggers. How's Minecraft treating you? So again, think of it more of like a Wild West shanty town. Like, you could... what's a good... Like in Red Dead Redemption. Right? You could... Yeah... For all plausibility of that game, you could go into town, commit a crime, like steal from a shop, go to another town, a few towns over, shave your beard, install yourself as the sheriff, and then hunt down yourself for the rest of your life and get a paycheck for, like, I'm still looking for this criminal. We saw him here. Branch from the different guilds. I don't really see the need, because it just sounds like there'd be... there would definitely be influence from the other guilds, but I don't think there'd be a branch to like, oh, keep them from, because that sounds like a diplomatic issue between them. This isn't really a diplomatic kind of like middle. This ain't. I mean, it could become one, and maybe the start is that, like the elves are trying to create some diplomacy here, and the dwarves are like, no, we don't really want that. Or so, can I jaywalk in this town? Yeah, you could. And if you get hit, you guys got to deal with it. The thing about this town is like, because there's no real legal process, there's no real court of law. Everything is decided between you and the other person. That being said, if you fuck with the bartender, right, you're gonna piss off everybody because that's the guy who pours everyone's drinks. So he has the backup of like almost the whole town to help him. If you are walking in the street and someone runs you over with a carriage, you know, if they have their own private security, there's not much you're going to be able to do. Now, of course, if this person has enough money or political connections, you're not going to want to fight them. Doesn't mean you won't. Does this all make sense? Because there wouldn't be, like, the guilds, there aren't guilds here. Because guilds are usually created when there's, like, a bunch of, let's say, carpenters, right? And there's so many, and and it's usually for when there's a big town, not a small town. Small towns don't generally have a guild. They'll have one carpenter. He does all the carpenting. He might have an apprentice. There might be a new guy who moved in, but there's only going to be one, maybe two carpenters in the entire town. A guild is for when there's a lot of carpenters, and they all kind of work together to like make sure the city treats them correctly, and that they're not that there are like laws and rules in place to work with the city to like supply carpenters for the people. Or, you know, it's a place where a big town's like, oh, where would I find a carpenter? Go to the carpenter guild. They'll find someone to help do your carpenting for you. Yada yada yada. Same with like a traders guild. It's where a bunch of traders would go to decide what wares can and can't be sold. With a shanty town like this, it's like you walk into town, you say, I'm selling the next best health potions. These will cure you even if your right hand gets cut off. Watch, and you cut off your hand, then you drink it and the hand grows back. See, and turns out it's all snake oil. So that's kind of the town I'm thinking of, if that helps. A maintenance worker. Fixes and sets up training dummies and training equipment. Create speaks with neighbor. Bounty office. To decide payment, contract difficulty. I misspelled payment so bad. I called paymentment. I cannot spell today. There we go. Holy flapjacks. Contract difficulty. What else do you guys think a payment officer would do? Let's Google this. Who would decide what is in a bounty contract? Let's see if AI can help us. Let's put it this way. This is more clean. Outlines the target's identity, alleged crimes, the reward for their capture or apprehension. There we go. There we go. Seems good. I think we got this. Maintenance worker. What's a better name than maintenance worker? Let's call him the supplier. Gear supplier. Oh, armor. There we go. Small farm that has chickens and maybe 3 cows. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Small. Farmer. We'll call him Farmer Dave. Has, I'm going to say, 10 chickens, 3 cows, and what would be another? What's a fantasy creature you could eat? No. Trying to think of a fantasy creature he could have. Let's say he has a giant rabbit. There are not guns in this universe. The closest to guns would be like magic staffs or wands. I'm not a fan of guns in fantasy universes. I think they work in some settings. I just don't like it in mine. It just changes. Like, why would you still be using swords and bows and arrows if you have a gun? Like, I'm not like they definitely still use swords a little bit up until like the Revolutionary War in America. But a gun is just so much easier to use and it does so much more damage than a bow and arrow. Like the difference between a gun and a bow is a child can hold a gun and be lethal, whereas a bow, that you have to be strong enough to pull the string. You have to be fit. You can't just be like me, I could do it, but it's like after 3 shots, I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I've shot a couple of guns at training ranges. Like even an old timey rifle. Yeah, that was heavy, but you could like shoot one, it takes a few minutes, shoot another. You're not as tired. Magic harp and slowpoke. You know, I like that idea actually. How about we make up a creature called a mixbit? A giant rabbit that can regrow its tail after it has been cut off. Naturally, this tail is long and is long like a rat's, yet meaty like a cow. No. With rabbit fur. I like this. Now we have the mixbit. It's like a giant rabbit creature that can regrow its tail with a large hump, like with a large hump and antlers. Thor eats his goats and brings them back. Yeah, I know about that. Oh, hi, Grimcloud. Yeah, I know about him eating the 2 goats. I also know there's that story where like this is Thor kind of being a dick. I'm not gonna lie, but Thor and Loki are just kind of traveling around. They see 2 guys who are, I think they're injured or trapped or something, and like, we'll save you. And they take him on his chariot with his 2 goats, and they get to his house, and they're all hungry. And he's like, "Don't worry, we'll just kill the goats and eat them." And they're eating them, and he's like, "But don't try to eat the marrow." And one of the guys eats the marrow anyways, by breaking the bones open, because that's what happens. Like, how you were not supposed to do that. Look what's happened. And the goats just regrow. It's like, now he'll just have to heal his leg, and it'll take a little bit longer. How dare you? You 2 will now become my servants for me and my brother Loki. It's like, because I mean, I get it. That would be annoying back in the day, but also that's a bit extreme. He made a mistake. I mean, I know you told him not to, but like, it's not like it permanently killed or killed the goat or kept his leg broken. You know? I feel like that's a bit extreme, but then again, Thor is kind of a bit of an extreme character when you really think about it. I mean, he drank part of the ocean. Yeah, this should actually. Yeah, it's got like a large hump, and it's got antlers. And a long, covered in rabbit fur. The tail can regrow. Can regrow. And only takes a full day. The tail can regrow and only takes a full day. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so let's see. We got the small farm, Farmer Dave. So far, we like Farmer Dave. Let's go with general store. What's it called? Blacksmith. I feel like in a town like this, you would definitely need a blacksmith. Apothecary. Did I even spell that right? Did I say that's wrong? So let's see. Can the farmer have a chul? What is a chul? I'm gonna look that up. Senses management. Interesting. Okay. How big is a chul? Large. Let's say this is his pet. It's his guard chul. I like that. From thieves and predator. Yeah, let's say he has a tool. I like that. Let's go with that. I spelled it wrong, but still. Sure, why not? I like the idea of a tool. I just imagine Farmer Dave's just sitting at his farm and the adventurers walk up and they just see next to the farm this like crustacean like thing going. And let's say he has a specially made pond for the tool. Named. Let's name the tool Sally. The tool will be named Sally. He's like, Sally, come on over here. Now I'm gonna go. You watch the Berman there. What's the intelligence of a tool? Not high. They're pretty low, but trainable. Well, what's the intelligence of a wolf? Lower than the tool. Okay, so definitely trainable. Definitely trainable. All right, general store. Who would own a general store? It's all in Gerald. Stocks. Keeps a healthy stock of basic rations, ropes, saddles, and I'll say blankets. Can make custom parts at a high price. We all know what a blacksmith is, but I might as well write down what they do. And let's say this guy is a dwarf. Because why not? Why not have a blacksmith be a dwarf? And no, actually, let's swap it. Let's make the apothecary the dwarf. And the blacksmith the elf. That would be hilarious. I think that would be hilarious. Like they go and it's like, they think they're gonna meet a dwarf, and then it's like this like very clean elf. And then they're like, hello? And he's like, down here. Down here? You want some potions? And he's like grinding one behind the counter. But you couldn't see him because he was, ooh. Darren the dwarf. I'm going to go with Darren the dwarf. And Eli the elf. Genius naming convention right here, guys. To stock up on. Or buy materials for making your own. One thing I like to do for my players, in case there's the person who wants to do this, is they're allowed to... You can do anything as a player in my world. Literally, you can do anything. Even if it's not in the game mechanics, I will let you do it. If you don't have it in your backstory like that, you're already good at it, you will have to practice at it on your off time. Let's say you want to make a sword of ice, an ice sword that can freeze your enemies, and so it does frost damage, but then can also like make a small frost bridge of like 10 feet long, 1 foot wide, that lasts for an hour. And I'd be like, sure, but you'd have to do. You would either need to hire a mage and a blacksmith, or you could learn to make it yourself. But to do that, you have to be proficient enough in blacksmithing and proficient enough in arcana to mix the two things, because you're making a magic sword. And so you'd have to train your character. I wouldn't let you start with being like, oh, I'm super good at both. You would be like either low at, like barely knowledgeable at either, or somewhat knowledgeable at one. A gnome clothes shop. I'm actually gonna. I do like that idea, the clothes shop. I'm gonna say the pawn shop is owned by the gnome, actually. I feel like a gnome wouldn't mind reselling people's valuables. The clothes shop. We'll just say it's run by a human for now. Sells all sorts of leathers, wools, cottons, any need can be bought as a special order. Might require you to find the materials yourself. I do like the idea of having a gnome in the town. I want the pawn shop to be a gnome. I feel like a gnome would be good at assessing items and selling them. And let's see, what would we? Let's say the person who runs the clothes shop, or the clothier. Clothier. Rebecca. Why not? And then the gnome, we'll call him Schwartz. Gnomes in my world, I usually make German, just because I can do a German accent, and it makes sense that they. That was bad. Ein Weinschwein, and that's how you can make them feel a little bit different from the dwarves who are Scottish. It's a really bad German accent. I gotta practice it. I have not done it in a while. Okay, so we got a jail. We got the contract hall with the guild leader, payment officer, armorer. We got the jail. Nobody runs that. It's just, let's say it's part of the. It's part of the guild hall. Let's say that. That makes sense. And then there's also the war room. And I'll just put secret because my players have not uncovered what the war room does yet. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 places. Let's try to think of 3 more. And we'll call this Dave's Farm. Everyone just calls it Dave's or Dave's Farm. The general store. Oh, we gotta have a tavern. And we would have an inn. Inns and taverns were actually not usually connected, by the way, back in the day. I like to believe every shop owner takes turns from being the owner of the jail place. Ooh. That's a cool idea. People, owners take turns running the jail. That makes sense because it's a community thing, and everybody here knows how to fight to some capacity. That makes sense. I like that. I like that idea. That's cool. Tavern. Who runs the tavern? I'll say it's Wimbley. And then who would run the inn? Madam Carr. We'll say she's from the desert. That way we got a little bit of a mix from the desert, you know. Hello, Alpha. How is it across the pond? Wimbley. What kind of... Let's say he's a halfling. Okay, so we got... How do I increase the... Yeah, we'll just make that green. Let's change the colors. By the way, the reason I decided to use Notion instead of what we were using before is because I honestly think this looks cleaner. And it looks less boring. All right, so, oh, an Anorith, if anybody wants to Katarina that. So let's see. I never finished explaining the potion thing. Yeah, in my world, in my games, if you want to make health potions, you can buy the ingredients for half the price of a regular potion, but then you have to make them on your own time during downtime, and it takes an hour to make one. Or no, I'll say it takes 10 minutes to make one, and there's a chance of failure. But the more successes you have, the better you get at it. And then I'll like let you decide, do you want to have a higher chance of success or take less time making them? So there's like a little mini game for downtime. For newcomers, townsfolk, and well, what do we want to name the tavern? It's called the Happy Halfling. Let's put it in blue. A substance that sells exclusive exotic creatures would be cool. How about instead of sells exclusive exotic creatures? Because I do have a guy in my world who already does that, but he's a traveling salesman. And he travels from place to place. I'm thinking here you can buy things like horses, wagons, dogs, tressum. If you don't know what a tressum is, look it up. D&D Tressim, I believe. And maybe every now and then gets exotic animal eggs. Yeah, let's say it sells horses. I don't know why I put a comma there. Hunting dogs. Tressum. Oh, is it Y? Thank you. Tressim. Tressim. Wagons. And every so often, oh, bait, not bait, bait. You know, if you're hunting for like an owl bear, they'll sell some bait for that. Hunting tools. And every so hunting rules. Hunting rules. I love hunting rules. Yeah, I like this. And let's say it's run by a person named Marnie. And she is Ogorian. I think this is a good. I like to believe every shop owner takes turns for. Yeah. I already read that. I put that in there. Shop owners take turns running the jail day by day. I'll put it right there. Is there a reason you posted a second time creeper? All right, I'm gonna let you guys ruminate for a little bit, and then we'll bust out the. Ooh, actually, I do have something I do want to write. 5 nobles slash contacts from the surrounding nations. So you guys are going to start coming up with ideas for people who are from other nations, like the Dwarven, Mitherheim. People who are from Mitherheim, the Emerald Expanse, Orgoria, the Deshret, Shilu, any area on this map. Gonna write them down here, and then we'll put them down. All right, I'll leave this up here for you to look around. I don't think there'd be anybody from Sandal here. Remember, Sandal's the Empire, and people aren't a huge fan of Sandal. You might see some soldiers come through every now and then. But no, I don't think they have a permanent connection here yet, because it's, you know, they got to go through the Deshret and Mitherheim just to get here. They haven't even taken over any of these areas, so they're busy over here. But you might see a couple of their soldiers out here, just walking. So guys, think of 5 people from those groups. We're gonna go on a break for a bit. I need to eat something, so I'll be back.
Fire that instantly. Have you ever felt like?
Hello, my name is Dr. Foe, and I work for the Paranormal Entertainment, Neurological, and Intelligence Studies. There is a new disease sweeping the nation that affects ones of Americans per day. This new disease is known as dainbermage. Do not be alarmed, we know the cause of this dainbermage. You can get it from many sources such as watching TikTok, reading YouTube comments, watching bad TV shows or movies, reading fan fiction, engaging with social media, and many other sources found on the internet. This disease is highly contagious and can spread from person to person. You will know if you have the dainbermage if you are experiencing symptoms such as commenting on videos on the internet, commenting on social media posts, talking in live stream chats, browsing sources such as Tumblr or Reddit, and any activity that requires you to connect on social media with strangers. If you do have dainbermage, contact your local PNIS office, and an agent will immediately come to slow the effects of the dainbermage. If an agent is not able to come to get you in 24 hours, do not be alarmed. You can begin self-medication. One of the forms of self-medication is watching Zaggard on twitch.tv or the YouTubes. We have discovered that dainbermage is slowed by the element known as cringe. As you can see by the state-of-the-art presentation on your screen, the cringe waves released from your monitor and speakers create a temporary shield to protect your brain from the dainbermage. However, there is no known cure, so you must continue to medicate once per week to protect yourself from its dangerous effects. This has been a PSA by Paranormal Entertainment, Neurological, and Intelligence Studies. Remember, dainbermage. We all And we're back. Have you guys come up with any names? I'm gonna say no. So I'll just start. Let's say. Melroar. Melnron. How about Melnron? No. No. Zelter? Okay. That's one. Foran. No, Farana. Let's go with Farana. Yeah, I like that. Fallon? Sure, we'll go with Fallon. My back's itchy. Period. Yes, we will name one of them Period. That sounds like a good idea. I like that one, Creeper. Portuguese. We're gonna name one guy Portuguese. Zelter, Farana, Fallon. Helmut. fifth one. Let's see. We're going to say this is an elf. Fallon's a dwarf. Halmut. Deshreti. Agorian. Let's think. What's let's say he's a northern. And then a southern Agabar. No. Sounds... No, Agabar is fine. Okay, so now we got 5 groups. Or 5 kind of leaders. Okay. Okay, what kind of personality likes to... What kind of goals do they have? I mean, they all wish to make Wildfang a faction, a part of their one of their faction. They all wish to. Let's see. Zelter is. Let's say he's arrogant, self-centered, likes to party, and trades in expensive wines. Calm, calculated, devious. Let's see. Fallon the dwarf, hot-headed, straightforward, rude, controlling. I wrote rudes. Halmut. Thoughtful. stubborn. Enjoys good food. And hates bad or subpar food. And agabar. What's a agabar like? Say he's greedy. Let's rename his to Gallon instead of Fallon. Every time I read Fallon, it made me think of Jimmy Fallon. Hello, Yuki. Greedy. Sneaky. No, that's two negatives. You think Portuguese people like pork with cheese on it? I have no idea. I don't know enough about the Portuguese to answer that question. The only thing I know about Portuguese people is that they probably speak Portuguese. And I say probably because you never know. All right, I'm busting up the reckless deck psyche. What are we up to? We are building the town of Wildfang. Because I need to have this ready by the end of the month for my first session with my players. All right. Deadlines. No. Deadlines are a good thing for me. One thing I've learned recently is having ADHD. Having a deadline actually gives you more motivation to work on something. So there's a YouTuber who's been doing it for a long time, and I only found out about her recently. She's called How to ADHD. And she has a whole video talking about motivational planks. I highly recommend it if you suffer from ADHD or know someone who suffers from ADHD. I shouldn't say suffers, but that's the best word I could come up with. Lives with. That's a better way of putting it. Although it does sometimes feel like suffering. I won't lie. I didn't do a question of the day. I ran out of time, and I was too busy. What was I saying? I highly recommend watching that channel if you know anybody who deals with ADHD on a daily basis. I mean, if you have it, you deal with it on that. The person I despise, not really, because they keep beating me in rule battles. Truge. Accurate. You know, it's just the gods smile upon Mr. Yuki. And they do not smile upon you. Okay, I'm trying to get these cards out of here without mixing them up too much. I don't know anyone who has ADHD. I mean, you know me, but that's besides. But not really. Oh no. Okay, card fell. We'll get it. There's no question today. Let chat concoct the question of the day. I mean, sure, go ahead. I'm cool with that. I see no reason not to let you guys think of a question of the day. Damn it. That did not do what I wanted it to. I think I'm going to say I like this case less and less. Let me just... No. Okay, there we go. Let me put this in here for now. There we go, that should work. Zagred streaming? I am streaming, yes. Are you streaming your players playing DC? No. They are not professional players. I will, when they happen, I will narrate what happens for you guys, but I will not stream the games. As much as I'd like to, I won't. Let's separate these real quick. Oh, right. I forgot I had these set by... I'm just organizing these cards real quick. I got one. What's the one thing you're thankful for today? Oh, you're thankful for me streaming? Oh, that's sweet. One thing I'm thankful for is all the people in the chat. Like, you guys don't even know it. It's actually very helpful to have you all here. It means a lot. Like each and every one of you. Like when I stream and I see someone come into the chat, I'm like, oh, thank God. I'm not wasting my time. Sorry I'm taking so long. I'm trying to find... Is this correct? Did I mess up my card system? No, I don't think I did. You know what? I kind of want to make my own box for this. I want to make my own box for this because everything keeps falling apart. Leave it like that, I guess, for now. It's less about if I'm okay. If they're okay with me stream. I will ask them if they're okay with me recording the games, just the audio. But the other thing is, I don't have the equipment or setup to record our full streams because they will be, or our full sessions. They will be in person. I'm gonna make all of our sessions in person. I prefer it. It's more fun. So I don't have the setup. Plus, I don't have the audience for that yet. Maybe once I have a bigger audience, I'll consider it. But for now, I don't. If we get to like 100 people per stream, maybe not even 100, maybe 50. You know, a few thousand views per video, I'll definitely consider it. Yeah, these are all strengths, right? From top to bottom. And then I'm just gonna shuffle this, and we're gonna pick 5. That's fair. You'd want there to be an audience if you're going to invest into that equipment. Exactly. Okay, we have 5 strengths. These will be our strengths for our 5 faction people. Okay. So let's... I'm going to actually get rid of some of the stuff I wrote. I'm going to leave these things because I like these 2 parts of their characters. But for now, the first one. All right, so I drew 5 cards. We got Grateful, Creative, Present, Analytical, and Protective. Who do we want to give Grateful to? Who do we want to give Grateful to, chat? I don't know how well you can read that. Maybe I'll just write it down over here. I know I spelled that wrong, but I'm just writing it out for now. let's put those 5 to the side. Then I'll do 5 more. That way they have like 2 positive traits and a negative. And then the next 5 will be adaptable, wise, fearless, collaborative, associative. Making sure these are all okay. Now we can put the strengths deck away. Clear up some space. Fill up that box a little bit. Then let's get 5 flaws. I will definitely do a campaign diaries, though. I like that idea. How flaw? He doesn't go on he doesn't go on twitch.tv/Zaggard. True. He's gonna have dainbermage. Sorry, that was me pressing something because something fell. This one fell, so we're just gonna take it. And then we'll get 4 more. Let's actually give them 2 positives and 3 negatives. That way it makes it harder for the players to pick one to side with. Because humans, in my opinion, people, generally seem more flawed than they don't. But that's because we also tend to try to look for the negatives. Which you might say is natural. But I feel like it's conditioned from movies, TV, internet. All right. Tactless, needy, immature, defensive, self-destructive. Ooh. Those are some flaws. What did I just do? Okay, so those are 5 flaws. The dwarf being self-destructive. I mean, if that's your vote, we'll put it in later. For now, we're just writing out groups. Are possessive, freeloading, entitled, amoral, megalomaniac. And then the next 5 are despotic, controlling, obsequious. I've never heard that word. Obsequious, bitter, and vindictive. What is obsequious? Obedient and attentive to a degree that is servile and lacking in self-respect. Interesting. I've never... Obsequious. Despotic desires absolute and tyrannical power over others with a tendency towards using it unjustly and cruelly. I feel like that's... I'm going to change that one out. I don't like that one. Let's go with overconfident. We're not trying to make a villain here. We're trying to make someone who would plausibly be, you know, like somewhat of an ambassador. Yeah, let's put these away. I love that these don't slide in properly all the time. The chill music is actually helping calm me down. I was about to start raging. Let's go with... And then we'll add some motivations. I mean, we have one core motivation for all of them, but then that's like a job motivation. I notice I've misspelled fearless. I vote frailace. Villains are fun. They are fun, but we're not trying to make a straight villain here, you know? To attain a life of leisure and comfort, to achieve great fame and adulation, to find the ideal romantic partner, to escape financial ruin. Okay, and then to prove their detractors wrong. Let's actually give this its own thing. To escape to find the ideal great fame. Fine idea. Okay, those are some good motivations in my opinion. And then do we need the given circumstance? We know what their circumstances. They are an ambassador of sorts. But let's see. Is there only child expresses panic attacks? Actually, no. This does work. Actually, this is an occupation. Did you write vindictive with the C? I might have by accident. Yeah, I did. Oh, you want to know a fun fact? So a sociological fact. What are these again? Given circumstance. We associate positive words with the right side of the keyboard and negative words with the left side of the keyboard. All right. So coming from an injury, hypochondriac has some level of OCD, has deeply held religious beliefs, is from a wealthy family. Okay. Some of these write themselves. I'm not even kidding you. Now, is this real OCD or is this like TV OCD? Where it's like, oh, I need things to be in order and blah blah blah. Right? Because I know what real OCD is like. Like real OCD is you walk out the front door, you touch the mat where you wipe your shoes, and then your brain is like, you scraped it the wrong way. You have to re-scrape it until it's correct. That's what real OCD is like. I'm not even kidding you. It's exactly like that. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again until your brain is like, yep, that's fine. Or until someone tells you to stop. I'm not going to say how I know that's true, but that's actually what it's like. The TV version is a lot nicer than it is in real life. Let's put all this back. Because right is always right. True. True. No, it's because of, like, think about the letters on the right and left side of the keyboard. Think about the words associated with it. Like, try to type only with the right side of your keyboard. If you touch the same over and over, your brain says, yeah, you got it right there. Is that OCD? You know, I'm not a clinical professional, so I cannot say for sure, but that does sound like some level of OCD, where it's like imagine I'm chatting with you guys, right? And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And my hand does this, right? But it just does by accident. And I have to keep doing this. I have to. I'm compelled to constantly keep touching it this exact same way until I touch it the same way I did the first time. And on top of that, I have to do it a certain number of times. It has to be an even number of times. It can't be an odd number of times. And when I finish touching it, the microphone has to be in the exact same area. It can't have moved over here. It can't be over here. It has to be right here. Like if I started doing this over and over and hyper fixating on it, that's I forget what the first part of OCD is. Obsessive, that's it. Obsessive compulsive disorder. My brain could not think of the word obsessive. That's an ADHD thing, by the way. And I know this because I know people who they will. I have a friend of a friend whose brother is OCD, and the way he found out was watching the show Monk. Because of the way Monk acts, he had to make sure everything was a certain way, and he'd have to do the same reaction over and over until it was exactly the right way. And then he talked to his therapist, and it's like, I think you have OCD. And it's like, why do you say that? Because you just told me you have to walk into the room and turn the lights on and off 36 times exactly. And if you don't, you have to leave the room, go walk in a circle 3 times, then go back and redo it. Yeah, genuine OCD is a nightmare. I have ADHD, and there are already times in my head where I'm like, this is a nightmare. So I can't imagine obsessing over, like, ADHD already has obsessive tendencies, where you'll sit there and like you'll try to remember something for like 10 minutes. Like you'll be talking in a conversation, you'll forget the conversation, and you'll be like, what was that word? I had a specific word I needed to say. And that drives me nuts when it's like that. And all I can think about is, what is the word? Right? It's literally all I can think about. Now, like, I could not deal with having OCD. I literally can't. People who live with OCD, I think they're heroes in a sense. They're superheroes. They like I struggle with ADHD so hard, and I see so many successful people with ADHD, and I think those guys are like freaking brain astronauts. If you get my meaning, like they do something that I think that I have, that I'm like, how do you do it? Like, it is like, how do you do that? How do you go to space? How do you deal with having this? And people with OCD, it's the same thing, but I don't understand it in the same way because I don't live with it. I don't live with OCD, thankfully. If I did, I would literally want to bang my head against the wall every day. So I have a huge respect for people with OCD. You know, so long as they're not like, oh, I have OCD, and then they like use that to like justify some shitty behavior. People with actual OCD don't talk about it because they're not happy about it. It's like people with ADHD. We don't go around like, oh, I didn't do work today because I have ADHD. Oh, I'm just so spastic. No, it's like you walk around and it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do this thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot this thing. Oh, time escaped from me. I'm so sorry. Anyways, hypochondriac. What's hypochondriac again? That's like the one that you need everything to be clean. That's right. You're always afraid you're going to be sick. Okay, let's start matching some of these. Okay, let's see, escape from financial ruin. Okay, let's start with strengths. What do we think of what is it? Circumstance, motivations. And we'll put these. Let's separate these even more. Oops. Let's see what Zelter. Which one is he? Which of these strengths would you characterize? Do you guys want to characterize Zelter as? Is he grateful, creative, present, analytical, or protective? People who live well with neurodivergencies get an immense amount of respect from me. Life is tough as it is, and they still trooper through it. Yeah, it's hard. Neurodivergent gang, let's go. I'm trying to learn some new video effects. Been playing around with morphing software. I don't even know what that is, and I edit for a career, so well done. No, I mean in this list. So this is the list, right? So the way I want to do it is we have a list. We have 2 groups of 5, right? Group 1 and group 2. Which of these 5 in group 1 do we want to say Zelter is? Is he grateful, creative, present, analytical, or protective? And then we'll pick one from the second list to put Zelter in. This way we have like a huge range. And we'll go with the first one down the list this way, and then the second one will go up the list. That way Zelter doesn't just get like the cream of the crop every time. Because eventually, once we get down to 5, one of these people is just going to take the 5th one. And we might be able to swap it around. So I'm going to say, like, face morphs. I still don't know what that is. Like, you sounds fucking cool is what it is. Creative. Okay, we'll make him creative. Cool. All right, so the next... And let's move this down here. Is Farana grateful, present, analytical, or protective? Farana the elf. I'm going to say she's analytical. I'm going to say she's analytical. I don't know why I bolded this. I don't need it bolded. What about Gallon the Dwarf? I know which one I want, but I want to see what chat goes with. Every other one, I'm just going to pick it to speed things along. I think that's the best way to do it, right? That way you guys aren't just watching me sitting here going, guys, pick one. Where are you? Proactive? I think that's protective. My resolution is low. Sorry about that, buddy. Here, let's zoom it in. I don't want you seeing this stuff. Why is it showing it? There we go. So we did protective. Grateful or is helmet grateful or present? I'm doing it intentionally to conserve data usage. I mean, that makes sense. All right, is helmet grateful or present? I'll hand this one to Creeper. Creeper, good sir. Grateful or present? Present. He's present. Okay. Then that means... Agabar. I want to change that name, actually. General... Agrin. General Agrin. General Agrin is a grateful fellow. I thought as we were making this, I thought I want to make one of them a general. General Agrin. So they have a military leader as a diplomat. Or as a connection. All right. So is General Agrin wise, fearless, collaborative, associative, or adaptable? I fail to see how grateful is a strength you'd want in an RPG. Well, you have to remember, we're trying to make characters. We're not trying to make, like, generic NPCs that only say, ah, yes, it is time to make the bread. Bring me the bread. You have brought me the bread. Here is your 5 gold. Right? Like, he can be grateful and collaborative, but he also is tactless and freeloading and controlling, you know? We're making them more three-dimensional. We want them to be... Yeah, exactly. Also, you can have NPCs who are grateful. Like, imagine you go to town and you save their daughter. It's like, oh my god, thank you so much for saving them. Here's a family heirloom, and it turns out it's a ring of restoration or something. That they didn't even know it was like that. That's what it was. I think a fearless general is more interesting. Okay. 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 We'll make him fearless. I have come down to the wilds. I have seen the Urgles. I do not fear them. I am a general of southern Ogoria. Their ugly pig faces do not scare me. Now that makes me ask, is Helmut from the Deshreti, is he wise, collaborative, associative, or adaptable? Even if I would prefer a wise one in this story. Good with not going with your gut. Going with your gut can lead to boring, simplified characters. They're more entertaining when you don't even know what they're going to be by the end of it. That's why I do this. If I just want to make my own characters, I'd do it. I could do it. But I like this collaborative because then we come up with characters that I never thought of. Like when we were making what was it called? Dragon Song. I didn't think to have it make that sound of the sound of a dragon roaring or trilling or however you want to put it. Someone in chat did that. I'm like, oh, that sounds so fucking cool. Like, imagine you're walking by and it goes like you just hear a... let me see if I can do it. You just hear that and you're like, what is that? Ah, it is the great statue of blah, 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 blah. That's such a cool idea that's in my world now. He's adaptable. Okay, I'm going to do the next one then. Let's see. Wise, collaborative, or assertive? I'm going to say he's collaborative. He's good at collaborating with people. That means Farana is associative. And Zelter is wise. Surprise enough, he likes his wine. He likes to party, trades in expensive plants, but he's a wise guy. He's actually pretty wise. He remembers. Who would have thunk it? Just realized I did not capitalize strengths. It's strengths and flaws. Strengths and flaws. All right, so we did the strengths. Now we do the flaws. All right, let's start from... We'll start from Gallon. I'm proud to say that was my idea. Yes, Alpha, it was a good idea. Except no less from our resident Wolfman. The Wolfman. Now we have to do the frogs. The frogs? The frogs? What the hell? We calling dwarves frogs now? Alright, is Gallon tactless, needy, immature, defensive, or self-destructive? Which one is he? I'm gonna say he's who? Flaws is frogs. Got it. You know, I've never heard that before. Never once. I'm gonna say he's needy. I'm gonna say he's a needy bastard. And then we're gonna go down. And Helmut is immature. Which leaves tactless, defensive, and self-destructive. If there's one of our characters that you want to put one of these three on, let me know. The general. He's grateful and fearless, but he's self-destructive. He does stuff to ruin his own life. Maybe he's an alcoholic. Maybe he's into ponies. Like, really into ponies. Like, spends all his money on the ponies. In a gambling way. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you, you creeps? You weird creepers. I'm going to say, yeah, he's self-destructive. Chime in if at any point you want to change what I put in. That means Zelter is tactless or defensive. I'm going to say he's a little tactless. He has no tact. And then Farana's defensive. Can the elf be an airhead? No, because we already have our list of whatevers, and airhead is not one of them. So you gotta go with one of these on the list. All right, so now that we have everybody's first flaw, let's go with their second flaw. See what Farana's second flaw is. For now, for second flaws, we're going with this list here. So pick one of these 5. You were creepers. Oh, that's mean. I'm just joking. I don't care. Yeah, of course you. Entitled. Veronica's entitled. Okay. Damn entitled else. Wait, why did I put and? There's going to be a comma here. There we go. All right. Then we're going to go up this time. Is Zelter possessive, freeloading, amoral, or a megalomaniac? What's megalomaniac? I want to make sure I got that right. I just imagine when I think of a freeloading rich person, there's a character in Outlander. Where is he? When I see his picture, I'll know it's him. The Duke of Sandringham. This guy. This freaking guy. He's like a freaking duke, right? But where's there? Oh, that's a bad quality picture. We'll just stick with this one. He's a duke, so he has like all this money and stuff. But there's literally a part where he gets Jamie to come in to be his to fight his duel for him because he owes some people some money. He's like, I owe them quite a bit of money from buying a bunch of wine, and I just, you got to help me. It'll pay off, blah, 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 blah. And like, at first you just think he's just kind of this like really nice, a bit of an airhead guy. Turns out he's a dick later. He's kind of like, he's actually kind of controlling and a bit of a dick. Like, he's not the worst, but he does some shitty stuff. So if you watch, I highly recommend you watch Outlander. Outlander is a great show. Monomaniac? What? You mean megalomaniac? Oh, okay. We'll make him a megalomaniac. He's like, I have all this power. Except he wouldn't do that because that's a thing that a specific race in my world does. And then we go down to the bottom. The general. Is he possessive, freeloading, or amoral? Again, a freeloading general. That would be hilarious. Like, you go out to dinner with him and he never brings his money. Like, you always pay. And it's like, fine, gotta do it. And then he like makes you do way more work than is worth for what he has. Freeloading just sounds so random for us. But I mean, they made it the Duke of Sandringham. If you like Game of Thrones, especially the early seasons, I highly recommend Outlander. It's got a bit more romance scenes, but it's really cool. It's a really good show. Okay, I'm gonna say the general is possessive. He's like, this is my shit. You're not fucking touching it. Get the fuck away from me. I'll say Helmut is a bit of a freeloader. And then Gallon is a little amoral. He's like, let them die. They're not people. Urgles are not people. And then we'll let Helmut pick his third and final flaw. Is he bitter, vindictive, bitter, obsequious, controlling, or overconfident? Obsequious. What does that mean again? Obedient to a fault, right? Let's see. Let's say he's bitter. I think it makes sense for him to be bitter. Like if you wrong him, he holds a fucking grudge. He's like, that guy. He didn't protect the butter. And then we'll say the general's obsequious. Makes sense. He's extremely loyal to his nation, even if they're doing some shitty stuff behind the scenes. That means Zelter, it would be... He's overconfident. Thinks he knows everything. I'm just checking. Right. She always wants revenge. Yeah, let's say she wants revenge. If I'm going too fast for you, chat, it's your fault. Gallon is controlling. He likes to make sure everything is kind of it's his thing. It's his thing. Get away from it. Back up. Okay, now we got their flowers. Let's pick motivations from these 5. My cat is ruining. What is your cat ruining? Did you mean to say running? My cats are chilling right now. They're big chilling. They're bing chilling. Bing chilling. I want to see that emote. Let's say... Who's trying to escape financial ruin? Let's say Zelter's trying to escape financial ruin. Let's say something happened. He bought some wine. And his family estate, he's going to lose his family estate. He bought way too much wine or something, and he can't sell it. Let's say the general has a bunch of detractors. He hates being here, but he's going to prove he can do it. Like, everybody's like, oh, he can't do it. He can't run this, blah, blah, blah. The one who wants to get a life of leisure, I'm going to say that's Helmut. Helmut wants, he just wants to chill, man. He wants to eat good food. Gallon wants to achieve fame and adulation. And Farana wants to find the perfect romantic partner. Bing chillin'. Bing chillin'. Is that how you spell it in Romanized Chinese? Is that it? I find it interesting that the Q is the CH sound. All right. Let's say who's financial ruin? Let's say Zelter's from a wealthy family. Makes sense. He was wealthy, but he was overconfident, tactless, megalomaniac. And you know, he was so creative, he thought he could be wise enough. But then he lost all his family's money in a bad investment. That almost feels contradictory. He's wise, but he lost all his money. I mean, I guess wise people can still make mistakes. Just shows he's not perfect. And then... Now, we'll say the general. The general is extremely religious. He prays night and day. Helmut has some OCD. Sorry, I lost the chat. Can everybody... I accidentally pressed F12. Losing his wealth is what led him to become more wise. I like that, Ishnavir. I like that. That's good. Where was I? Helmut has some OCD. And let's say Farana's a hypochondriac. And Galen is recovering from an old injury.
My blasted leg. My knee's always getting in the way.
And let's see, Farana constantly holds gatherings to meet the one. But that partner needs to be able to help her achieve her goals. This way, there's a reason why they would interact. They both like to party. They both. She's hosting parties. He likes to have parties. Holds and attends gatherings. Let's see. Based on this, he's recovering from an injury. Used to be a soldier, but was wounded. Wounded his knee in battle. And is now forced to live in this frontier town. Used to be a top chef in his home country. But was unable to keep the restaurant. So now he works as a diplomat. This gives them a reason to talk because they're both bitter that they're forced into this role. Highly decorated officer. And was given a mission to help expand his homeland's reach. However, every back home thinks he cannot do it. There we go. I think this is a good group of people we got. So we got Zelter from North Orgoria, or let's open up the Cal Orgoria. It's called the Kaganate by the people who live there, but everyone else just knows it as Northern and Southern. I think I'll just do Car Orgoria. There we go. Cal and Car Orgoria. They call it the Bailik. Just a quest for the farmer could be killing some giant rats because the rats are eating the crops and his chickens. I actually already have some giant rat stuff prepared. But I like that idea. I will keep it. I will keep what happens to the farm. I'll keep you updated on that, Creeper. So let's see. We got Zelter from Northern Orgoria, or the Cal Orgoria. He likes to party and trade in expensive wines. He's very creative and he's wise. But he's also tactless, a bit of a megalomaniac, and he's overconfident. Because of this, in the past, his family, who was very wealthy, he invested in this wine company, which turned out to be a scam, and he lost all his money. He invested his family's fortune into a new wine business that turned out to be a scam. So his mother sent him here to Wildfang so he can learn more about shady people and their trickery while bringing home wealth and honor to the family. Back home, she has been aged for 50 years. She is part of a old noble family of wood elves. Actually, no. Let's say they're high elves. We're going to say she's a high elf. And they wanted her, I misspelled back. They had several marriage proposals, but she rejected them all. Thinking none were worthy of her status, let's say. So she has been exiled by her father until she finds and agree able partner. Wishing to go back as soon as possible, she hosts and attends most events held in or near the town. Used to fight in the dwarven armies of Mitherheim. I think that's how I spelled it. I like the farm because of the lobster. Maybe the lobster will die in session 2. Who knows? Will Andrew be back this Wednesday? Oh, I should let you guys know. I won't be here this Wednesday. There will be no stream this Wednesday because I'm actually going to be gone. I have some work stuff I have to do. I'm going to be down south. So I will be gone for just Wednesday. I'll be back. Joke time. My brain. I'll tell you a real joke in a bit. But yeah, there will be no stream this Wednesday. FYI. Fight in the Dwarven armies of Mitherheim. During a scuffle with some Urgles, one of their horns broke his knee, and now he can no longer fight. He was, because of his freaking ads right as you start explaining BRB. To be in the wilderness and ability to adapt, he was sent here by the king as a diplomat. His desire to be in the wilderness. How high? And ability to adapt. He was sent here by the king as a diplomat. Okay, I like that. Used to be a top chef in his home country, but was able to keep the restaurant because he was terrible with money. And would spend his earnings on desires. So to escape his debts and pay them off, he was forced to live in Wildfang by the Pharaoh. He's really was. Could someone tell me what Zagger said about it? Yeah. I won't be here. I literally will not be here. Did I spell Pharaoh right? I did not. After in the king's army for over 4 decades, a tenuous peace treaty was signed. Being as highly and as he is, highly decorated and obsequious as he is, he was sent. Just realized I made 4 of the men and 1 woman. I'm going to actually change Halmut to a woman. Or maybe I'll make Zalter a woman. Zalten. Zaltes? Zaltes. We'll make Zaltes a woman. As he was sent to Wildfang to begin helping his nation. Have a, not just in this region, but in Mitherheim and the Deshret as well. I think I spelled Mitherheim right there. And we will make her a fee. And we will make Zelter Zeltes. She invested in her family's fortune into a new wine business that turned out to be a scam. So her mother sent her. So she out shady people and their trickery while bringing home wealth and honor to the family. We just made 5 characters, guys. I have to go now. I wish you the best of luck. Bye, Ishnavir. I'm about to end here soon, too, because it's been almost 3 hours, chat. So we have some shops we made, some shoppies. We've made some NPCs that we can put in those shops, and we made 5 factions. We'll all have a little bit of a handhold and want to try and get control of Wildfang. But for now, they'll be who supply contracts for monsters and criminals. I think this is good. Oh, right. Thanks for reminding me. This guy's scamming me. I'm not scamming you. I'm just an idiot. Oh, that reminds me. You know, speaking of fantasy races and dwarves, I actually have a friend who he has dwarfism. He's only like 3, 4, I think. He's pretty short. And the other day he was talking to me, and you know, oops, what I meant to do. Yeah, so my friend who is 3'4", he was telling me about how the other day he got pickpocketed. I just can't believe someone would stoop so low. I love the setup. Thank you. Thank you. It always makes you wonder, like, where the hell is he going with this, right? And I'll be honest, I don't even know myself half the time. All right, chat. I think that's where we're going to end it for now. Actually got me laughing. Good to know. I love that. I love making people laugh. All right, friendos. The segues are great. I love making them as difficult to follow as possible. That's my thing. All right, let's we're gonna end there. Chat, thank you all for joining us. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. My birthday was on Saturday, so I'm now 31. I'm getting even more old than I already was. We will see you all on Friday. Because I will be gone Wednesday and we don't stream on Tuesday and Thursday. So thank you all for joining me. It means a lot. So remember, guys, keep those minds running. Hope you to see you all Friday. Stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy. Be thankful for everything and everyone in your life. And the number one ruler in the Dragon's Den: don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. Bye-bye, chat.